See, the thing... This show is known for... its camera angles. Hey, it's me, good buddy Matt D, here in the old game garage. Once again, talking to you about my games in alphabetical order. Last week, always weeks, days, hey man, what's time? You know what? Time's a dot. Looking at you through the peephole. ATV wild ride. Was it a wild ride? I don't know. Watch last time. It was kind of wild. It was a little wild. Punk's wild. Sorry with all the faces, but this week is away. Shuffle Dungeon this time. This is so DS-y, it hurts my DS face. This is so many good ideas and so many noble attempts. And almost there, like, just quite, like, if you were going percentage-wise, is low 60s? Right? Like, clearing that 50 bar, no problem. But after that, the problems start kicking in. And it's got, like, kind of big names behind it at the time. Whenever, Away Shuffle Dungeon, whenever year this came out, I don't know, it came out this year. A lot of people were pretty excited about it because some notable names were on the game. I want to give you those names, but also I would ruin those names. Before I forget, I've got to talk about the cover, because I am super... All right, dudes and dudesettes, look at this cover. Okay, to explain, I'm the kind of dude that when he goes into a game store, he just buys whatever is DS and cheap. Like, dollar stuff, do if it's dollar and complete, doesn't matter. Do I got 10 of them? I'll just get... I just need another box. But just in general, whatever is cheap and on the DS, if I don't have it, I'll probably pick it up. This is a great example where I was right on the fence because it was like, I don't know, I think it was like $5 or $7, and I looked at this cover and I was like, bleh, that looks so blacky. That looks so blacky. Like, it just didn't look fun, but I was like, oh, wait, in a shuffle dungeon, and you look at the back, and you're like, oh, that looks pretty cool, and that looks pretty cool, and dude, look at that goodness. That looks great, and that looks great, and but what is it? And part of it's the character design, which by noted character artist, in the game, it looks great, but the fact that the artist decided to transfer it to the cover, it's a little awkward, not so much. Yeah, sword kind of looks fine, but look at, old Penelope here. I can't remember, whatever, damsel in distress. The fact that they don't give her the neck, again, in the game, you're like, dude, I'm fine with that here, but on the cover, that's a little weird. And let's talk about the weirdest part right here. Brr, brr, brr. I don't know so he's looking this way, and he's holding this, and the arm looks good, but right about here, there's an awkwardness where the hand should actually be turned a little bit, should be getting a little bit of this action where the knuckles are over the knuckles, but maybe wanted the sword here because for design sense that looks pretty good, where the sword really should be, I think it's just harder. I think like just kind of got to here and maybe the artist was just like, dude, this is kind of hard. And just made the hand this way instead of this way because this is harder, and then that would put the sword in a more force-shortened situation. And force-shortened swords. It's hard enough to say force-shortened swords, much less draw a force-shortened sword. So you gotta draw a force-shortened, and you just can't do it. I mean, I was almost thinking, is this single ellipse single-handedly messing up this whole illustration? And here I get, dude, it's hard. Dude, I draw and it's hard. It's hard to draw, but like I might have worked on this until like I wore the paper out until a hole in the ground and had to actually get another piece of paper and draw on that. Because this right here, this is the entire crux of the drawing. Points me to a hand that's just not right. It's a broken hand. And then that makes you think, well, how good can the game be if they can't get the drawing right? So the gameplay itself, the game away play is literally tells, I'll say it's a good title, it tells the entire story of the game. The Away is this magical force that for some reason we don't know why is abducting people from the town one at a time. Then for some reason your girlfriend saves you, but by saving you, the entire town disappears by the Away. I don't know, whatever, deal with it. And then it's up to you to rescue everyone in the town, and as you rescue people in the town, more things come back, and you first rescue the armorer, for example. I think is it Helmet? Is that the armorer? And then have Helmet is the armorer, the weaponsmith. I can't remember their name. They're in love with Giggles. You rescue her. Oh wait, sorry, fourth, because first you rescue the priest. Eventually you rescue the whole town. As you go in, it's kind of a dungeon crawl, an over the head Zelda type dungeon crawler that also is miscellaneous. So you go in and you each dungeon, you try to find a person at the bottom of the dungeon, and when you find them, you work your way back up. Challenges is as you're going, the top or the bottom, because it's a DS dual screens, those dual screens, one of them every 3 to 8 seconds, 10 seconds, every 3 to 10 seconds, one of the screens will switch and move, and a different dungeon part will come in at the bottom. The dungeon's always changing, which can help or hinder you depending on what you're trying to do. Sometimes the exit is literally there for 3 seconds and you can't get to it, and you've got to go 3 more levels through the dungeon to get back to that exit again. Sometimes puzzles. I mean, that's the thing. It's really unlike most RPGs where it's kind of slow and you got a lot of time to think about it and a lot of what am I going to do and how am I going to plan out this battle. This game, it's a lot of times you have 3 seconds to make the decision. Can I get to that staircase? Yes or no? There's 2 dudes in a trap. Ooh. And so there's a lot of quick thinking, because if you get caught in one of those shifts, it basically is good night for your character. It doesn't completely wipe them out, but you lose all your magic points and most of your life. It's pretty interesting. At the end of the dungeon, or at the end of every, they set it up in different ways. You sometimes will get a boss battle, which is not like an over-the-top situation. It's like actually pretty impressive for the hardware. Like a full-on like 3D, like Ocarina of Time Zelda style battle. Complaints seemingly are, but I get it, is like the mechanics are super simple. Like you really only have one mechanic, which is attack. And but I get it, because there's lots of times where, again, as you're going to that staircase, and this is like what kind of broke my brain, you just don't have enough time. Like there's upgrade mechanics throughout the game. Like as you rescue people, you can upgrade their stores with certain materials, and you can upgrade yourself, and you yourself can gain levels, and everything kind of counterbalances each other. You get some other things, but all this is to say is that it's one of those games where sometimes literally a fraction of a second makes a difference. You know, you're getting kicked off the number of times I get kicked off a level trying to get to the stairs, and I swear to God I'm on those stairs. I swear to God I'm on those stairs. So I'm literally missing it by the fraction of second, and of, oh my goodness, if it didn't take 2 hits and it only took 1 hit to get to that guy, and oh my, you can't even calculate. It's at that point you can't even try to calculate, and that's where it becomes super addictive, super fun, and kind of definitely makes you want to go back to it again and again and again and again. It does become frustrating because sometimes you are, all the way down at the bottom. You know, you're all the way down at the bottom of the dungeon. You've gone down multiple tiers of staircases to get down, and suddenly, you F it up, and you get knocked all the way back up top, which happens honestly kind of a lot. And the number of times you get almost up to try over. You get little dudes. Another thing with another mechanic within the game is you get like these little funny dudes. You can see them on the cover here. These dudes right here. They're kind of like your Tamagotchis and like everything else in the game. People and your relationships and whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can feed it things to level them up. And you can see, this is them at level 1. And I think it's level 2. And they have 3-4 levels. I looked it up. It says it's a 20-hour game. I'm telling you, for this guy, we're looking at like a full week. But again, because I just, as I'm getting older, my thumbs are getting slower and I'm getting kicked out of that cave. I liked it. A lot of sea creatures. It's real mean to sea creatures. A lot of things you're killing are like octopuses and anemones. Anemones are your enemies. Oh, hey. Let's read the back like we do. Overcoming a powerful evil takes a strong, unyielding sword. Hey, that's your name. Introducing an epic new role-playing saga from the minds of renowned RPG visionaries. Unnamed. When an entire village is, quote-unquote, spirited away by an unknown malevolence, only one hero remains to unravel the mystery and rebuild a torn community. Yeah, you rebuild the village. You can set places. There's a whole thing about feng shui, which honestly, I don't think the mechanic is very robust, but it is robust just enough that makes you second guess and doubt yourself and make you feel bad about you. Revolutionary shuffle gameplay challenges your quest through the constantly changing dungeons. Constantly changing dungeons. Upgrade and wield 4 classes of magical Fu Pong. That's these guys. And they do different things. They do, like the red one shoots fire, green one will heal you. This one's like an ice shield around you. I don't know what the yellow one does. Never got to the yellow one. Let the fight rage in a cooperative 3D battle raids. Oh, well, which means there's probably a whole co-op thing to it. I don't know, man. I think I like it. A lot of people kind of were meh on it, but I think if you consider it as a really great DS traveler, puzzle traveler, that's what Away Shuffle Dungeon is. It is a great one of those. If you're looking for an RPG game, like more regular, but if you're like, man, I played a lot of RPG games, I need something different. My friends, have you seen this? Stay where I can see you, Sebs. Oh, yeah, so that's that mostly? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. We should really show these more often. I gotta get the... really mean to tie these two things in better next time. Maybe? Probably not. Like Square, the things, it makes a difference. Right here, it means something. Comment down below. Welcome. So, you're like, hey, man, why? Oh. After hours. Right? It's like the cover of Mega Man, the first Mega Man, where it's like, oh, man, Mega Man. I mean, it's a bad illustration because it's an illustration for Mega Man. Like if it was an illustration for grumpy old Mega Man, some game where you're just a drunk all the time. If it was a cover for Leisure Suit Larry 10, where he's in the future and he's just like a drunk private detective, that would have been awesome. I'm way off. Of course. Stay where I can see you. Yeah, so maybe you noticed I wasn't here last weeks for a while. Thing, who cares, right? But game story. So I was playing this game called Sky. It's like a phone game. I always want to call it Fly because that's what you do. And in it, a lot. Fly. It's like a kind of mechanics, physics based game. You kind of float around. It's Sort of, you know what? It looks a lot like, I've not played the newest Zelda, but Breath of the Wild. It looks a little bit like that and has kind of those kind of really good, like, kind of mechanics where you feel like this weight and everything has, it feels good just to jump off stuff and land and just, you know how it just feels good to kind of fart around. This game just feels good to kind of fart around, and the mechanic is that you're always trying to get better at flying because that's where all the stuff is. I don't know, played only a little bit because I ended up talking. I ended up was on the phone with like this British girl. How are you on the long? I don't even know. I'm on this phone with this British girl, and I think it's going well. I think it's going well. Is it? Who knows? Because she is trying to convince me later. I'm like, hey, let's talk more. Because honestly, how far does an accent go? I think really far, like really far. She could, and that's lovely. I just want to hear more. I think the Beatles are rubbish. Yeah, good. Lay it on me, lady. They're the Beatles. It's terrible. But Britpop, fuck that shit. I hate the Boo-Ray. Nah, I'm not even going to say it even in jest. Even in jest. That's not even fun. Yeah, no, I can do it. Anyway, so. Talk to me there through this game, which has like this whole social aspect to it. And you like, of course it does, you idiot. It's a modern game, jackass. And right, because and here's the thing I didn't think about. So we're like the same age, and I assume maybe only because Battle of the Sexes or whatever. Maybe it got into games later, and so she is like quite into or comfortable with the whole social aspect of gaming. Well, and here's the thing. I am now, and this is what I'm getting in. The whole other, that's all a pretext to what I think now. Here, the 1 minute, 1 minute. The interesting point. So I'm playing the game. Literally, because she's like, oh yeah, talk to me here, because there's so much, and I'm like, cool. I totally want to be led around this world by a pretty girl in a British accent. Like how very modern future AI, and I'm a very yes and kind of person, so I'm like, yeah, man, walk me around the future this way. Cool. But actually, you have to kind of play into it first and kind of learn the mechanics, which all makes sense. And so then I play into the game, like tutorial levels, right? You know, playing the tutorial, like in Tears of the Kingdom, they talk about the tutorial island, right? Which makes a lot of sense. I've not played that, like I said, but it's totally just doing tutorial stuff. And there's still like hidden things and all the goodies are in the tutorial stuff to kind of really like sell you on this mobile game because. And also, this is my fear, because it is a mobile game, I know there is going to be, like, a component to it. I'm a little, like, I'm going to, like, still, like, I just want to enjoy the free stuff. All I want to do is talk to a girl. But so I'm getting into it, playing and enjoying it. It is a fun game. She has reason to be into it. I'm not pitching the game, because here I am now. Yeah, dude, I just played Away Shuffle Dungeon. Now I'm back. Dude, I was away, and now I'm back. 7, you need to give me 1 minute. I'm almost done. I'm wrapping it up. Yeah, I know. Come up here. I know. So, you know, like doing all of this just to talk to. Playing, the tutorial level and get to a point where she's just like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think, I can't remember, communicates with me like, hey, man, here I am. I'm, like, playing the game. Do you want to? And I was kind of like, no. Like, I know I literally did all of this. I'm not going to go play the game because I'm back. Like, I can't. I don't have time. I'm only doing this for a girl. But then when I got there, I guess what I'm saying is, like, once I got there, I was like, yeah, I know I don't really want to talk to other person. I'm playing a game. I don't that, and this is where I thought was interesting, that I have no interest in the social dynamic of gaming. Like, none. Like, I was actually like, don't talk to me right now. I'm doing. I was like a monster, and a cockroach, and you just turned on the lights. No, no, don't look at me. I'm jumping off a rock. I'm jumping off an imaginary rock and enjoying sliding down the hill. I'm enjoying good physics. I'm enjoying mathematics at the highest degree. Someone else's mathematics, not mine. I cannot do mathematics at almost any degree. But yeah, anyway, all to say is that I'll probably never talk to this person again.